Hi Aries, Trishna here. Welcome to your August 2019 Success and Abundance reading. So, what I'm feeling for you is I feel like you're in a really happy, positive place. You're also having this very positive mindset. So, you're in a really good, energetic place, and that's really positive. It's really good. It's very exciting. This is where you want to be. And there's a saying, or at least part of a saying, that says, prepare for the worst. But I feel like you're actually embodying a new saying, your own saying, which is prepare for the best. And so, about 2 months ago, you were in this mindset and this mode of living that was all about the rules of success in your life. You were figuring out how to succeed in any situation and have this kind of methodical approach to no matter what situation comes your way, you'd be able to figure out how to move forward from there and succeed. And then about a month ago, that started turning into a little bit of working on things and being in a positive place, but then also having your energy split to where you were worrying about, well, if this doesn't go well, or if the plan doesn't work exactly right in this part, then here's my contingency plans. Here's my backup plans. Here's how I bring everything back on course. If it doesn't work out here, here's how I bring it back on course. Here's how I deal with failure. So your energy was split between wanting to move forward on your projects in a successful way, so having a very success focused mindset, but then also having this like, well, if something doesn't work out, this is what I'll do. So also having like a failure mindset, preparing for failure mindset. And last month's success reading was all about having you align to more of the success mindset. And I feel like you've really started to do that. You're really not focusing on how things could fail unless you get reminded of it by somebody like me. I'm sorry, so we're going to move on. You're in a really good positive place. You're focusing on success. So that is good. That's awesome. Now, when you're focusing on success and when you have your energy super high, there is something that can happen. So when you're really at a high level of emotion, and staying there in a consistent place, you start getting acclimated to the world being rosy, to things working out for you. And that's good. But what happens is if there's a disappointment, because you're at such a high place, when a disappointment comes in, it just drops you down and you can get really sad, really frustrated, and because it's new to you, you're in this whole other world, and then all of a sudden something, like a little tiny rock gets thrown into your world, and it seems like a big rock because you just haven't you've you've shifted how your life runs. And so when something doesn't fit in that, it seems like a big thorn in your side. And so it can be a little bit hard to deal with. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't allow yourself to get excited. It doesn't mean that you being in a really positive place is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. This is a really good thing. This is positive. And so don't worry about that, and don't fear the disappointments. And I feel like that's a little bit of what's going on, is like there might be like you're feeling really good, but there might be a very slight undertone of like anxiousness or anxiety of like, I need this to work. Like I'm so focused on the positive that this has to work. I need this to work. There's like this need, or like having to kind of push things to work. So what I want to say is you're in a really good energetic place. Yes, like if a small disappointment were to come into your life, it would kind of rattle you because you're not used to that anymore. But no, that's not a bad thing. Yes, it is a good thing. So what do we do about that? So basically, what you need to do is there's kind of two parts to this, which is when you're feeling really good, it's really important that or it's really important for any of us at any point in time to understand that if we were to get disappointed, that's okay. We can pull ourselves out of that and keep moving forward and be successful again. It's all about understanding that we're never fully in balance. We're never always going to be feeling our best or feeling super happy. But we always know that no matter how we're feeling, we can always bring ourselves back to a happy place. We can always bring ourselves back to balance. It's all about the mindset, it's all about the belief, it's all about the emotions. And all of those are under our control at any point in time. It's just a choice that we need to make, and it is a mental shift that we need to have faith in. And when I say that, I mean it's like you have to really look beyond what's in your reality to be able to see something better. And you have to believe that even though everything in front of you isn't going well, that your version of reality trumps what's actually in front of your face. So anyways, that's just to say is that number one, The first thing you need to remember is that you can overcome any disappointment. That's not a big deal. Do not fear disappointment, because the moment you get disappointed, all you have to do is refocus on your mindset, change your beliefs to be more positive again, and work on your emotions so that you're feeling as good as possible, feeling feelings of gratitude and really focusing on the positive as much as possible. So that's rule number one of dealing with disappointments, is know that it doesn't matter how disappointed you get, it doesn't matter what comes your way. Feeling good and happy again, seeing success is all a personal choice, and we can have our moments of disappointment, but we can bring ourselves out of it at any point in time, the moment that we're ready. The second part of this is it's really important that you manage your disappointment. So you're in this really high, happy place, and there are going to be little tiny disappointments that happen. We have those every single day, things that don't go our way. Um, we miss out on a sale. I don't know, just little things that don't really mean much that sometimes happen to us, and we feel little bits of disappointment, but then we brush it off because it's not that big a deal, so we don't even pay attention to it. It's really important that when you're feeling really good and positive, that you do manage that you do pay attention to, oh, I got disappointed today, and that you work on bringing yourself back and changing your mindset around those little things, because if you don't, then you're going to have this undertone of disappointment from these little things adding up over time that then can lead to a bigger disappointed feeling later. So, but if you manage it little by little, anytime, like think about your day, anytime you get disappointed in the day, no matter how small, just notice it, and then just work on feeling better about it. So if there's like, I don't know why a sale discount came to mind, but let's say there was a sale and you missed it, and you had really wanted to buy something, or you had really wanted to take advantage of it. That's a small disappointment. You have bigger things going on for you. You may feel disappointed in the moment, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then move on and completely forget about it. But instead, notice it and then change your mindset around and be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I missed out on that sale, and I was really looking forward to getting that one item, or that one, I don't know, whatever it is. But there's always going to be another sale, and if I really needed that one item, I wouldn't have missed out on the sale. I would have bought it, or if I really needed that item, I would buy it right now, even without a sale. But obviously, I don't really need it. It's not a huge priority for me, so I didn't really lose anything. There's going to be another sale, and I don't need this thing right now. Like, I'll just wait for the next one, and it's fine. And look at all this other great stuff that I already have right now that I can put my attention on in the meantime. And you know what? By the time the next sale comes around, I might want something even better. Something better might even come out. And then that will be what I end up getting. And I'll be happy that I didn't get what I got, like what I wanted to get this time. So you can shift your mindset to where you see the silver lining in even the littlest of disappointments. And when you do that, you will keep yourself focused on this current path of success that you already have, this mindset of success that you're already in. And you're just going to boost your momentum. And you may think like, hey, we shouldn't be focusing on our disappointments, because where our attention goes, that's where our success flows, or that's where our energy flows, or that's where our manifestations flows, whatever. I know there's like a saying around there. And I would just say that, like, yes, that is true. Wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy flows, and that's where your manifestations flow, that's where your success flows. So I agree with that. But I also would say that energy goes through whatever doors are open. And so if you have disappointments that haven't been addressed, those are like doors that are still open. And your success is flowing in the doors that are open, that are success focused, that you've already opened for yourself. But you're also leaking some of your energy and your positivity and success into those disappointed doors that haven't been closed yet. So, even though you may not be thinking about your disappointment all the time, until you close the door, it is still a part of your subconscious. And so some of your energy is going in those areas. So you want to close the doors to your disappointment, because when one door closes, another one opens. And so you want to close the disappointed doors so that you open even more success doors. And so you do that by shifting your mindset, finding the silver lining, and making yourself feel better about any disappointment that comes your way. And if you keep managing that process, you're not going to hit, or you're less likely to hit a big disappointment. Sometimes there are disappointments that are for our path, because they're going to take us on an even better route to success. But for the most part, not getting into too much of the details, you want to manage the little disappointments. You want to close those doors that aren't wide open yet, that are still just only a crack open. You want to close them before they get bigger, so that you can then allow more of your energetic flow to go towards your success doors. And you want those doors to be wide open. I think whenever we experience disappointments or whenever we feel anxious, which is kind of the undertone that you have right now because you're so success focused, which is good, it's fine. But I think we can sometimes have, our anxiousness can make us even more anxious because we feel like we're not focusing on the right things or we're going to mess up whatever it is that we're trying to manifest. So I'm kind of talking about this more in a manifestation kind of conversation context. We get so worried about the negative thoughts that we have and we think it's going to cancel out everything that we've worked for in the positive side of things. And it doesn't really work quite that way because the universe is very forgiving and it really wants to support you. So if you put in the effort to work on your mindset, it's going to meet you where it can. It's going to meet you at least halfway. So, anytime you have these disappointments or anxieties, understand that we're always going to have these little fears as we reach higher and higher levels of success. Because every time we hit a new level of success or we're achieving or striving for something new, it is a new journey. And with new journeys comes new obstacles, new fears, new challenges, new learning potentials. And so, it's all part of our growth and our time here on this planet, which is all about our growth and becoming more of ourselves and achieving more and loving ourselves more as we see how much we can accomplish and how much we receive and like all the positivity that comes in our life. So, these disappointments and anxieties that you may be feeling are not really anything to worry about. The key is really what I was saying before, the two things. One is anytime, always know that disappointment is not something to be feared because you can always come back from your disappointments. That's a mental choice that you make. And it's okay to spend time feeling disappointed. I mean, we should embrace all of our emotions, but once we're done, once we've kind of gotten the disappointment out of our system, we can get right back up to feeling positive and focusing on our success again. That's always a mental shift. It's always in our control, always at all times. And then the other one is manage your disappointments and your anxieties and your internal fears and whatever comes up as you go. And so, anytime you have these disappointments and anxieties, just understand that you're not canceling out what you're trying to achieve. If you deal with it now, you're basically managing it and it will just close those doors, like I was saying, which allows more of your energy to be focused on the success versus getting leaked through the little cracks of the disappointments that you have. And also understand that balance and happiness and a positive mentality is a lifelong journey. And success is too. You can hit a level of success and be really happy, but nothing is ever permanent. And so we're always going to be wanting to strive for something new, or there's always going to be something that comes in our way to help us grow in some way and help us realize more happiness. Because when we have these disappointments, it gives us an opportunity to bring even more happiness into our lives. Once we make that shift, we bring in so much more. So, just understand that it's like working out. If you want to stay fit throughout your lifetime, you have to commit to working out regularly. It's not something where it's like, oh, summer's coming around and I want to work on my bikini body, and then you work out really well, and then you look great for summer, and then you're not committed to it in the long term, and then you start gaining weight again, and then next summer you have to do the same thing. Um, Emotions and energy and manifestation work the exact same way, where you could be really positive and all of that, and then bring in a lot, for the summertime, and bring in all the abundance that you want. And then if you lose sight of your work and you don't focus on like managing the little disappointments along the way and have a regular practice, then there's going to come a point when you start losing some of the abundance that you've gained, and then you have to work on it again at like high speed. Versus if you just work on things and commit to it as a lifelong journey, then you're always managing everything that happens, and so you have more control over how your reality is shaped and what comes to you. And yes, it can be sidelined, but you'll always be in a lot more control versus not having a practice, not practicing regularly, and then having something come to you like just kind of explode in your face, and then having to scramble because there's a lot of little disappointments that have been adding up along the way on top of this one, and then you're just having to start from the ground up again. So I feel like this video is getting a little bit long. I just want to kind of wrap up that you're in a really good place. Just manage your disappointments, know that you're always in control, and yeah, like just commit to this as a lifelong journey, and understand that this could be a new rule that you add. So a couple months ago, like I was saying, you were creating rules of success for your life. What is the method that I can follow at all points in time that will bring me success in any situation. And anytime something didn't work out, you would kind of look at that situation and figure out, okay, what could I have done differently? What's the rule that I can follow now? So here's a new rule for you, which is commit to working on your mindset regularly. And by regularly, I mean, if you can do every day, that's fine. I would say at least every other day. I think that's a pretty good schedule. And then also, if you have disappointments, in between those days, try to address them as soon as possible. Try to close that door sooner rather than later, and so that you can bring more flow into the success areas of your life. So, add this as your new rule. I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised, and commit to it, and just know that it's going to work, but it is a journey, and it is something that we all have to work on all the time if we want to live the lives that we create for ourselves, or that we want to create for ourselves. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.